Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid preview. This is the preview to Real Madrid versus Rayo Vallecano. Um, yeah, I mean, after what happened off the back of the Valencia game, which I will not talk about today because I feel like there's no need to let people who don't want or don't like listening to stuff like that listen. So if you are interested about what happened and my thoughts on it, of course my thoughts will be against racism. But if you just want to listen and watch, you can watch the last video on the preview, which I did not talk about the pro football at all. Not because I wanted to dodge talking about losing, because look, when we lost 4-0 to Manchester City, I was here on here and I was talking about football. But sometimes there are things that are so much more important than just a game of football. You know, you're talking about human life at stake. You know, that is how serious this is, and we can't just brush it off and act like nothing's happened, because something did happen. So, look, the important stuff will obviously be prioritized, and then we can talk about things like football, because we all love the sport, but it's things like racism and stuff like that that are not helping this situation out, and are making this sport 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times worse. But yeah, go and check it out if you want to. Last video. But let's talk about the football now, because I suppose we just have to move on from it. Of course, it doesn't mean that I now condemn or accept the fact. No, of course. But you have to move on, but not accept it, just move on. Rayo Vallecano, the last time we played them away this season, right before the World Cup, I believe, we lost 3-2 at their own backyard, basically. We went there, we dominated. Before the World Cup, everyone's minds were on the World Cup, so we didn't give in that 100%. We gave him probably 40%. But first up, let's talk about better performance and hopefully a better results. But I mean, look, this game basically isn't important. Like, we've discussed this. Real Madrid's next couple of games don't mean much, because regardless, they'll finish second or third. That's it. And of course, you want to finish above Atletico. And of course, that gives you, maybe you earn more based on the revenues and the price. But you kind of want to play for the pride as well. For the pride, and with all these in mind, this is a big game, but it really isn't though, is it? So, look, this video, normally I try to make my videos longer. I'm just going to get straight to the point right now, that there is no point to make these previews, really. And the games really have no point. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a backline of Courtois, Nacho at left back, Alaba, Militao, Lucas Vasquez. Rudiger could play, Carvajal could play. Mendy had a pretty poor game against Valencia, so I wouldn't play him. That's my back line. I mean, again, Rudiger could play, Carvajal could play. But let's see. My midfield trio, pretty simple again. Tchouaméni in the midfield as number 6. Camavinga. The last time we played the both of them, it was pretty alright, and I like seeing these two playing together. The combination between Tchouaméni and Camavinga, the understanding at times, it's something that you have to build on, because Camavinga is not going to play left back forever. Eventually, and that is regardless of whether you send Jude Bellingham, but eventually you want to work Camavinga into this system, into this team, as the midfielder. So that would be for me. And then I would add in Valverde, the pace, the energy, let him play, why not? Ceballos could play, of course. And I wouldn't play Modric and Cruz. I mean, let them rest. Let them rest. Might as well. So that is my midfield trio. I could get this horribly wrong, because it could be Cruz, it could be Modric, it could be Ceballos as the midfield trio. Imagine it's Modric, Cruz, Ceballos as the midfield trio, and I get all three wrong. It could happen. Front three, Vini Jr. got that red card, but I think it's been overruled. So I don't actually think the red card counts as a suspension anymore. So it's not gonna be a suspension. So he can play, but he had an issue with his knee, I think. So I think the odds of him playing and the chance of him playing are very low now. And I wouldn't play him. I would not play him after what he's gone through. I would say, Vinny Jr., you know what, look, take the rest of the season off. And let's not say, oh, have a free break. But when you go through what he goes through and what he's gone through, you know, you can't just say, oh, this guy has just been assaulted verbally and mentally and ask him to come back to work. I mean, that is just ridiculous. Give Vinny the break. There's nothing to play for. He has been our best player this season. He's already given his 10 out of 10. What's there left for him to show and give this season? Nothing. So I think Rodrigo will play on the left instead of him. I think Asensio will play. I mean, he has been pretty impressive this season. And I'll play him, and then I'll put Benzema up top. Simple as it is. A front three of Rodrigo, Asensio, Benzema. Hazard, I think he's still injured. And then Mariano Diaz. So yeah, I mean, that is pretty horrible. As a front three, as rotation options. I mean, the front three isn't bad. Rodrigo, Benzema, Asensio are not bad, but you look at the bench, Mariano Diaz is the only player we can bring on, and he's not good. So you want to have 2 to 3 good options, but you have one option that isn't even good. Now that is the standard Real Madrid are currently at, and I hope we move on from this because it's not acceptable, really, is it? Before we do end, however, the table is as it is. So Barca lost their second game in a row against Valladolid. Doesn't mean anything. Here, Atletico second now, which is big for them. They are 1 point clear with 3 games to go. Goal difference wise, they've only won was. Real Sociedad could catch up to us. I don't see Villarreal doing so. So look, it could be 4th. It could genuinely be 4th. Let's see. Yeah, we've got Rayo Vallecano, Atletico of Espanyol away. You know, Espanyol I think are fighting relegation, are they? I think they may be relegated at this point because if they beat Atletico, they would be 1 point behind Real Valladolid. So Espanyol will be fighting for their lives. So maybe you can see an upset there. As for Rayo, they are a mid-table side. They have nothing to play for. A win here will put them with Girona actually 8th. Jeez, Rayo could go 8th with a win. Of course, the teams around them haven't played too, so maybe 10th, 9th, 10th for Rayo. But I mean, yeah, it's a huge final games here, isn't it? And then Sevilla away, Atletico will have Real Sociedad at home. That's a big game. That's a very big game. And then Bilbao to end off, and then Villarreal away. So they've got pretty big games. Real Sociedad and Villarreal. I mean, don't underestimate those teams. Like, you never know, right? Like, Real Sociedad are 4th, Villarreal are 5th. So they got 4th and 5th to play. Never underestimate these teams, you know. And of course, they've got a relegation side away from home against that team that wants to fight for survival. It's never easy. But that's my prediction. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the bell, subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.